everyone, welcome to Movement and Me, an initiative that is designed for budding artists across the world who wish to pursue their career in art. I'm your host Niharika, and on this show you will hear artists talk about their lives and the choices they had to make in pursuit of arts. We will also get to use some tips and key learnings from the lives of these artists, along with a detailed discussion on their areas of interest. So quickly hop onto a journey into the world of arts along with us. Today's guest is Mr. Shijin Ramesh. Shijin has been dancing for the last 10 years. As part of his guru's entourage, Shijin became one of the youngest teachers at his academy. As a dance enthusiast, Shijin joined King's United Dance Academy and participated in his first international competition in 2015 and also became the first team from India to win a bronze medal. Shijin further worked as the head of operations and group manager at Kings United. He also went on to become a world champion along with his group at NBC World of Dance in 2019. He has continued to perform both nationally and internationally, including places such as Las Vegas, Bahamas, Bali, Muscat, and Philippines in 2019 alone. He's currently the founder of IDALS, which is an online dance academy for dancers who wish to receive professional training in various art forms. Hello, Shijin. Thank you for joining us on this show today.
Hi, Niharika. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure for me for being part of this podcast. And first of all, tell me, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good too. I'm just completely busy with my startup, which is Idols, and I'm really enjoying that thing. And I wish to, know, explore more and more in this project. I'm really actually, excited for this podcast as well because this is my first podcast. Because I've been doing podcasts myself with my artists who I'm being associated with my Idols project.
Right.
And since this is my first podcast, then I'm also really excited to do that with you.
Yeah, well, I have so many questions to ask you, and don't worry, I am equally excited. What I'm going to do is, before I get on to talking about idols, which is one of my curiosities that I want to also fulfill, I would like to get started from the very beginning, which is where did your journey in dance begin? How did you get started with dance? And I think that's one of the most interesting questions that every audience member here wants to know more about. So please go ahead.
So, a very long journey, but I will try to keep it short. Uh, so basically, I started it from childhood only. Like I did my first dance performance at a society annual function, which happens every year. So it started also. At that time, it started off a very sudden, it was the function was going on in the society, and I was lying down on my mother's lap, and there were some of my friends who were performing already on the stage. So I don't know what excited me or encouraged me to go and perform with them. Like I suddenly woke up from my mother's lap and I went on the stage and started dancing with them. So at that time, that was my first performance, and I still that memory is still fresh in my memory, which was I guess at the age of 6 years or 7 years. And from then I kept on dancing at annual functions with my society, as well as I started participating in school annual functions as well. And it went on till eighth grade, and after that, became completely focused towards studies. Like I took a break from dancing, and it was like 3 to 4 years of break, and like I became a what I would say is like I was studious. I became completely studious. People started calling me like you are a padaku. मतलब जो हिंदी में बोलते हैं, आप एक बहुत बड़े पढ़ाकू हो. So they started calling me those kind of words, and I was working really hard to trying my best to get into the top institutes of a country. But after completing my 12th, after giving those entrance exams, I realized that those institutes are not for me. Like after appearing for the test and everything, uh, like when I got this when I got to know my score and everything, at that time I realized, like, these big institutes are not meant for me. And it was during that time I also started, getting back to my passion, which is dancing. I joined Fictitious Dance Academy. Fictitious is actually one of the legendary group, who have been who have mesmerized the entire and inspired many people, to pursue dance as a dream. Okay, so I joined the academy in 2010, and from my actual journey began from there. Okay, and during that time I joined a engineering institute as well here in Mumbai, and simultaneously I started my classes also in their academy. So I used to manage both, like Monday to Friday at my college, and Saturday Sunday I used to attend the classes. So within 1.5 year, I got an opportunity. Like, they started recognizing my skills. Luckily, I had those. I wouldn't say it was a God gift, but something. It was natural. They loved my dancing skills, and within 1.5 years, they appointed me as a trainer at their academy. So that was my first, achievement, being a student at their academy. And my guru Jaydeep sir, okay, we are still in touch with. We both are still in touch, and he gave me an opportunity to be the trainer. That's how I started my training journey. Like, I started training people. Till now, I've still, trained more than 1,000 students in my journey so far. That is when, I went on upgrading my dancing skills. I learned various styles. I started exploring more and more in dancing. Okay, because when I was appointed as a trainer, my vision was to provide quality training and proper knowledge. Okay, my purpose and my vision was to provide proper knowledge to all the people who I'm being training. That is what I did. Later on, simultaneously, I also got introduced into crew as well, fictitious dance group. They also started recognizing my skills, my talent, the dance form I used to do, the footwork kind of, I used to practice, say. So that actually caught their eye. They started learning from me. Both the founders of the group, they also got to know me about my dancing, and that is when I started getting opportunities as well. Okay, so I would say in 2014, like, the work life was very hectic. Not work life, my engineering and my dancing life was very, very hectic. Managing both the things was really difficult for me. But I guess I learned to handle pressure in life. Okay, it actually taught me how to handle pressure in life, because my college was like, 1.5 hours away from my home. Like, and like, I used to go early at morning, somewhere around 6 o'clock, and I used to come back at 4. Not 4. I used to leave from college at 4, and I used to reach at my home somewhere at 5 or 5:30. And within 10 to 15 minutes, I would get ready for my class. I used to run and go to academy and practice there. So that was my life, for those 2 3 years. And in 2014, like, when I was in the last year, I got one opportunity from our founder, Suresh Mukund. Okay, he gave me an opportunity to perform with Salman Khan at Filmfare Awards in 2014. So that was my one of the biggest break which I received to perform with the group. And I really enjoyed it doing with the group. And I used to show to my friends at college that I had performed with Salman Khan, see my video, all this kind of stuff. Okay, so that was some kind of show off I used to do. But since it is because everyone has a dream, to perform with such great Bollywood celebrities, and I was lucky and fortunate enough to have that opportunity. And I guess at that time I would say my hard work really paid off, and I got to perform with those people, basically the dance group as well as celebrities. And at that time only, I actually encountered a very severe injury in my back, and like, I was completely out of dancing for 6 months. And it was during that year, the not that next in 2015. It took me 6 months actually to recover from that pain. Okay, I was completely out of dancing, and during that time, I actually started working. Also, I got placement into one of the IT companies here in Mumbai, and I started working. And Yeah, so it was completely hectic for me, because not hectic, I would say very frustrating, because I wasn't able to dance. I wasn't able to, do what I love doing. Okay, I was completely a 9 to 5 person, going to my office, sitting on my desk, completing all the work which was allotted to me, and again would come back frustrated, saying, I mean, thinking why I'm not able to dance. When will I recover from my pain? So it was a long process. I went under many medical processes. At the end, I came to a point where physiotherapy helped me in healing from my pain, and that is how I got recovered from this in Feb 2015 and got back into dancing again. I started training again in the academy. Luckily, my guru, he again welcomed me back. I thought, like, I've gone, then he might have forgotten me, but it didn't happen. He actually, welcomed me back because he believed in me. He knew how I train people. Okay, because I had that unique skill set of training, which I do it every time. Like, if I whenever I take training, I always see, like, what different I can provide to my students. That much passionate I am with my training. And during those times, the group was also on the stage of separation, and sorry, and at that time, I got an opportunity. So the group got divided into two groups. One is V Company and Kings United. In mid of 2015, like, one of my friends, Karthik, he called me and said, like, we are planning to go to HHI, which is the biggest hip hop dance competition, which happens in USA every year. So he said that we are planning to go this year. Would you like to join us? So I was like, for a few seconds, I was like completely, surprised, I would say. I was like, actually, I was in my office at that time, and I was just walking, fast here and there, like, what should I do now? What should I do now? I'm in my office, like, how would I convince my manager to give me a leave? That process went on for a week. I put a notice to my manager, put on emails, please grant me, 2 months leave. Actually need 2 months leave. Luckily, since it was my first year and I was under probation period, so I wasn't allotted that much amount of work. Okay, so considering all those points, my manager, she granted me 2 months of leave, and I was like happy, and I went back to those rehearsals and everything. So after 2 months of rehearsals, I really enjoyed those period with the group of Kings United. We went to USA, and we achieved the title of, bronze medal world at international hip hop competition, HHI, Hip Hop International, and that was the first ever achievement of my life, along with my group, and we were the first group who had achieved this medal for the country. Yeah, from then I started got recognizing by the people. Okay, I went back into my office life again, but I was associated with the academy also. I used to train, on weekends, sometimes on weekdays as well. I was into my shift working at my office. So still those life, were very hectic for me, because I had my morning shift. I used to woke up somewhere around 4 a.m., come back home somewhere around 5 a.m., then again go back to studio, because I loved going to studio there. I loved training. I loved meeting people there. I loved meeting students there because it had a different vibe. After, like, 2 years, like in 2017, mid 2017, I took a call, like, bus ho gaya, bahut kaam kar liya yahan pe, and I wasn't happy there, and I took a call to leave the company. I and got completely into dancing. That is how, I got the opportunity to be the head person there of the academy, and also uh, I became the manager of the group. From then, the journey has been amazing. I got to learn many things from my mentors, from my group mates. It was completely a different world for me, like completely different from my field, uh, where I pursued a specialization, and getting into the management work, managing group, managing the entire academy, all those kind of stuff. Though it was hectic, but I really enjoy doing that. I used to stay most of the time at the studio only. Think of different ways, ideas, how I can improve our training process. And Luckily, that is how we could achieve so many students who traveled from different parts of the country to learn from our studio. And I used to keep on uh, like coming up with different processes, different training methods, which will which will be beneficial for the students who come to learn from us. And simultaneously, I used to dance as well, though it got compromised a little bit. Okay, but still I managed it somehow because I was completely into my management work, so I had to balance each and everything. Sometimes the work demanded me to stay on the desk, but whenever I got free time, I ensure that I'm making use of that time for my personal dance training. And in 2019, not in 2019, 2018, we got an opportunity. We got a call from World of Dance, NBC World of Dance, which is actually the greatest dance competition. It's a reality show which is being judged by Jennifer Lopez, Derek Huff, and Neo. So we got an opportunity to be a participant of that competition. We had sent audition videos, everything through those video submission. We got shortlisted as one of the contestants in the show. In those 2 months, everything we won the competition. We became world champions, and it got announced. Though it was shot in 2018, but the announcement, everything was done next year in 2019 in the month of May. So after that, like life went on to a different level. We did more than 50 interviews, PR, each and everything. Like we started getting calls for shows, national, international shows. That is how we started receiving international exposure as well. We performed in many countries, uh, Vegas, Bahamas, Philippines, and we got to explore a lot many things. So this has been a real long journey for me with Kings United. And last year, like after COVID and everything, during lockdown, I left the group and I started my own company, which is called as IDALS. So IDALS is my baby project. It's a completely professional built online dance training platform. And yeah, we'll discuss more on this. So this, I know I spoke a lot, but this was my journey, like of the past 10 years, actually in dancing.
So when you say 10 years, you've actually spoken very little compared to the timeline.
I
Uh,
tried to highlight few points from my journey. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. So I have a couple of things that I want to say. One thing that I'll reiterate, and then a question that I want to ask. One thing that I found very
Okay.
interesting in your journey is that there was a constant progression that I could see based on the kind of
Yeah.
work and hard work that you were putting in. So you already
Yes.
always made the choice, actively made the choice of going back to dancing and learning, and there was always a progression that was happening. So you struggled for 2 years with your work and your dancing, and then you came to a point where you realized that, okay, this is what I want to do, and probably this is the time I should step completely into the dancing space. And
Yeah.
before that also, before you had to leave dance for studying, then you chose to come back to dance because that's where your passion lies. So I think those were some actively well thought out and choices that you made, which led to you finally being able to perform on international stages and being recognized as a world dancer, which I think is also equally amazing. My question here, though, is why? I mean, yeah, I know that there is this thing that you have to have a real job other than dancing. When you because dancing apparently is not enough as a profession. But
Yeah.
if you knew that you were, and you were really struggling to maintain a work, like continue to work in your profession in the IT field and then also continue to dance, why did you stay with it for 2 years? I mean, what was it about the scenario or the situation that you were a part of that led for you to stay with the company for 2 years?
Uh, First and foremost point I would say was I wasn't confident. Okay. Though I had achieved that title of bronze medalist, being the very first team to achieve that medal, still we weren't recognizable. Like though our achievement was all out on the internet, but in India, people weren't aware of this information. For me, like I come from you know a proper I have that proper family background as well, where my uh, parents also expect that I do a good job, everything, because I had actually worked for that. I worked literally hard in my engineering days, and if they saw me like I am leaving that job and getting into dancing, obviously that would piss them off. Okay, but honestly, from my side, I wasn't confident, so I took time. Okay, though I had complete achieved that medal, the bronze medalist title in 2015. From then also, I took 2 years. But in those 2 years, I wasn't away from my dancing. I wasn't away from the academy. I actually no, I knew that I had to take some kind of decision later. So what I did is I actually started putting more and more efforts. Like I said, like I used to go at 4 a.m. to the office for my first shift. I used to come back at 5, and I used to run to the academy, to meet people, to sit there and to work on the processes to make the training better and better. How can we make our training quality much better as compared to other dance institute? How we can introduce more processes, all this kind of stuff. So I used to sit there and discuss with my colleagues, with my friends. So those 2 years, I wouldn't say I haven't done nothing in the academy, but I have actually put in more and more efforts to like build a proper academy in India, like one of the renowned dance academies in India, so that I could, take a decision and leave my job and get back completely into dancing. So that is when in 2017, when our founder Suresh Mukund, he actually started, like calling me, like say, why are you not leaving your job and switching back to, coming back to the academy completely? I said I need some time, unless until I'm not confident enough, then I would not say yes. Okay, so I took time. I took those 2 years, to build the academy with my skills, with my knowledge, everything. So so there came a time when our academy started getting recognition all over India. Like when we started in 2016, in Jan 2016, we had only 3 students in our diploma batches, and in next year 2017, May 27, we received 40 students in one batch. So that actually was a very huge achievement for us as well. And that number went on increasing every month. Like the other consecutive month, we received 50 students, 60 students, 80 students. So at that time, I took a call. I should leave the job now. Already worked hard for this. Now it wouldn't be fair if I still continued my IT job. So I was actually not happy with that, because at office also half of the time I used to work for the academy. I used to sit on internet, see like what all different things I can try for the academy. Fortunately, I took a call in June 2017 that I need to leave the job. I put my resignation. Even my managers were shocked, like, why are you leaving? All those kind of stuff. Sorry, but they also agreed to it. And they got understood that I'm actually, want to pursue my passion, and they agreed to it, and they gave me an early release from the company. That is how it happened.
I just to correct, I never said that you wasted the 2 years. I in fact meant you struggled a lot because you seem to be trying to manage the IT space and the
Yeah.
dance, which for me is like a very big deal because that's like almost what do you call it, 80% of your time, in the entire day.
The reason I said that I put more efforts on those 2 years, because I actually wanted to, set myself financially as well. Okay.
Yeah,
I
okay.
have actually, put a lot of money in my engineering, and it would be very foolish for me if I'm not, setting myself and, and getting back into dancing without actually working on anything. So
Yeah.
those 2 years, I actually, worked on the academy, and I actually, when I got to know that, when I realized that our academy has been established, and I can start earning a very decent income, more than that, more than my IT job. At that time, I took a call.
That's actually very interesting. And I think you point something very interesting out for us as well, which is, uh, finances is definitely a big deal when we talk about any profession, pursuing anything in
Yeah,
the future. And somehow dance has been one of those professions which has had trouble generating income especially in the initial periods when you're training as a dancer. And I think that's where the problem lies, because dance requires a lot of time in terms of investment. It requires like about a lot of effort and time to invest before you actually start getting the results and getting something out of it. So yeah, you point out that finances are a very big deal.
But I am glad that I went to
Hmm.
I got the opportunity to undergo that process, because it actually learned me many things professionally,
Right.
in terms of soft skills, how to interact, like all those which actually helped in my professional development, and I could apply those things in my dancing field as well. Okay, so what I learned in engineering, also during my IT days. So all those things I applied professionally, in my uh, dancing career as well, and it really helped me a lot, uh, in terms of career development. And I also started teaching those things to my all my students. I had introduced a subject of personality development in my classes. Okay, which is rarely seen in any dance classes here in India. Okay, like many classes, I don't know, they might just offer you training in those dance forms, but apart from training those dance forms, I also ensured, to make this subject of personality development an important subject, because it's really really important, to develop yourself professionally. Because when you go out in the industry, your skill set just amounts to 25 to 30% of your work. The rest, everything is your communication skills, how you have those, you know body language, how you present yourself to the people out there. So I consider this really important, and I'm very glad that I got to learn this during my engineering days and during my IT
You point something, you are pointing quite a bit of things out, so I'm gonna
days.
lose track after a point, but I'm gonna keep repeating these so that people understand. I think, Shijin, you point something very useful out here, that soft skills, things like communication, interaction, being able to display a sense of confidence, these things are as important as being able to dance. Because if you can't communicate, if you can't talk to the other person, sometimes in a verbal manner, through words, it is very hard to get what it is that you want, or even just to suggest what it is that you desire to seek or learn from an environment. So thank you so much for that. You talked a little bit about having a back injury, undergoing
Yeah.
6 months of sort of going through a period where you're relaxing and taking care of your body and especially your back. Can you talk us through what it is that you had to do? Because you mentioned a little bit about trying different techniques and then having to go to physiotherapy, which somehow just helped you. Can you talk us through what it is that you had to do and the kind of struggles that you went
uh,
through in trying to take care of yourself?
yes, so those that it actually went on for a year, but I realized about that back problem, the actual back problem, after 6 months. Okay, so it happened during the rehearsals in Jan 2014, because at that was a crucial time when I was being getting introduced to the crew members. Okay, and it was during the rehearsals as well, when I was when I got the opportunity to perform with Salman Khan at Filmfare Awards. So it was during one of those rehearsals, only early morning. We had a call time of early morning rehearsals, and I was doing my regular warm up. And in those one of those exercises, I got a very painful jerk in my back. I didn't realize like what it was. I was in complete pain. Like the pain was unbearable. But still, I managed it somehow. I did dancing. I was actually ignoring it. Okay, I was getting carried forward with that pain. I was taking classes. So this thing went on for 6 months. I actually, in middle of that, I also visited doctors multiple times. They used to give me painkillers, all those kind of stuff. But in June 2014, like it was unbearable. I had to take a call. You need to stop and get this thing cleared, recover as soon as possible. And at that time I was completely out of dancing, and that was the time I got into my job as well. Okay, I started my working everything, and I was away from home for 3 months. So uh, I used to come to my home, like once in a month, get in touch with the doctors there. I visited multiple doctors. I did tried different methods, Ayurvedic, each and every, all those kind of stuff, but it didn't work out. But uh, at the end of 2014, November 2014, I one of the orthopedicians suggested me to get an MRI done to see like what is the exact problem. So at that time, by looking at the MRI reports, they got to know that I'm suffering from slip disc. So I had not one but three discs slipped in my back. Okay, and like it was completely shocked me because it was something new for me as well. So I started researching about this, thing on internet, and I got to know several. I read several case studies which was there available on internet, and looking at those things, I got to know that many of them either have healed this thing through physiotherapy or through surgery. And my ortho suggested me to know to do go and do physiotherapy through one of his friends, and that is how I started the physiotherapy process. And within 2.5 months, like my physiotherapist, like he, like I still owed great salute to him, like he, because he is the person who actually helped me in recovering from that pain. And within 2.5 months, by Feb 2015, with all those kind of exercises, each and everything, I got completely healed from that pain. Though that injury was not recovered, but because surgery was the only process, okay, to get those discs back into the position. But I avoided it because I was very young. I'm still young, and the doctor suggested me, to don't worry about this. We will cure this through proper exercises, and that is how I recovered from this, pain within 2.5 months. And I started practicing those exercises regularly, and also started dancing as well. So that is how, like those, that 1 year was very painful for me. I was very frustrated as well because I wasn't dancing. And luckily, with those physiotherapy therapy methods and all those things, I could heal myself and I got into my passion back.
That's actually a lot of like hard work and mental stress, if you ask me, because
Yeah, exactly.
we don't realize how much of hard work it goes into just being in that position of not being able to dance or move or do anything of that sorts.
So actually, there are many things. This actually, my dancing journey has only got taught me many things. So one of the things that I've learned is patience. How to maintain patience, and how to cultivate the habit of self motivation, all those things. And I'm glad that with those things which I couldn't learn in my school, in my college, I got to learn actually in my dancing field. And I owe you know many things, my achievements, everything, to dance career only. Whatever I have, developed or learned is all because of dance. Because it helped me actually, learn many things. It helped me heal as well. Lot many things.
You're making my job as the question seeking person to not ask you any questions because you're answering most of them anyway. So thank you so much. But on that note, how important do you think, and this is something that I keep asking my especially people who are in artists and who are performing and constantly working towards performance, how important do you think it is as dancers for us to talk about the fact that we go through mental stress, physical stress, and that we also have those moments when we cannot dance because of an injury or like ligament tears or something of that sort? How important do you think it is for us to address these things? And what do you think is not what do you think there is a need for us to have um, a set of doctors and people who can just sort of train and take care of dancers bodies just like they have for sports people?
uh, I consider it very much important because being fit is the foremost thing, in this industry. Okay, because a dancer is also an athlete. Okay, and it's really important for us to maintain that fitness level because our job demands that kind of work, that kind of physical work, and we need to have those kind of fitness level maintained in our body to achieve those things. Okay, uh, physically as well as mentally. Mentally, because there are certain things sometimes it won't work, like um, like you are struggling to achieve so many things, but we are not able to do that. So at that time it gives a mental like it affects our mentality, everything, and we sometimes go into depression. Okay, but I would say it depends all on the individual, like how are you, taking up those challenges and converting it into a positive way through different things, like how you keep motivating yourself. Okay, how you keep how you maintain focus towards your goal. Okay, all those kind of stuff, and that is what I have also done, like during my struggling days. There was no one to motivate me, because I also never dependent on anyone for motivation. It is my journey, and I had only need to take care of myself. So mentally, I was, I kept on preparing myself, though it affected me a lot. I have also gone through the process of depression, everything. But at the end, it is you who, will be healing yourself. Okay, and you should be glad enough that you are, getting to, face these challenges, because it will obviously, you know, make you learn a lot many things, mentally, everything. And uh, when it comes to physical stress, obviously, the dancers are meant to undergo a lot, a very hectic process. Okay, where they have to dance sometimes, let's say, for 12 to 14 or sometimes 16 hours as well. So we need to, uh, ensure that we are taking care of our fitness, body fitness, and we are giving uh, equal importance to that as we are giving it to dancing. Okay, because if you're not healthy, if you're not fit, then obviously you won't be able to, accomplish those things which you want to do. So we need to maintain that balance, and though it is tough, but if you're passionate enough and if you're looking to have a career in dance, then you need to, maintain that uh, fitness level physically as well as mentally. Otherwise it will be very difficult for you to survive, in dancing. And like not in dancing, like be it any other sports as well. And as you mentioned, yeah, obviously, there should be a need of a proper uh, therapist who would guide dancers as well, like they have it in sports. Okay, obviously, there should be a dedicated person for dancers as well. And yeah, because what I feel here in India is like, um like dancing is not given that much importance, though it has grown obviously in the last couple of years, but still it is not considered on that level as compared to other, coveted uh, fields like jobs, corporate jobs, all those kind of stuff. And like last year, I also, got in touch with many physiotherapists, where I used to call them for a special sessions in my academy, where they used to guide people on the importance of being fitness, how to maintain your body, how to maintain your fitness level when you're performing, all the warm up procedure, everything. Okay, and there are many institutes in not in India but in uh, foreign countries where they, have those dedicated uh, courses, dedicated person, allotted to be, yeah, to heal people, to, guide people. uh, there's a concept of dance therapy as well, where people heal people through dancing, through music. And I'm hoping that maybe in the next couple of years we will be able to have such institutes here in India as well. And uh, like it starts also, I'm hoping that it starts getting that much importance as compared to other sports as well, because a dancer is also an athlete and he deserves the same respect and recognition as that of a sports person.
Thank you so much for putting it out there. So, all Shijin fans, please remember Your body is like your temple. Please take care of it. Take good care of it so that you can dance for as long as you can. All bodies
Yes,
need to have that extra care. So if you want to dance for the next 20, 30, 40, whatever number of years, you need to take care of that body. So Shijin, on that note, we come to the end of part
exactly.
1 of our interview series. This is a 2-part series for anybody who doesn't know. We'll see you on the other
Okay.
side. Thank you all for tuning into Movement and Me, an initiative that is designed for budding artists across the world. To continue receiving notifications on our latest episode, please subscribe to our YouTube channel Natya Mandalam or look us up on Apple Podcasts or Spotify for more information. I'm your host Niharika, and I'll see you all next time.